Okay, this is my review on House MD. MD apparently stands for Doctor of Medicine. Googled it. If that's wrong, then blame Google, not me. Okay, so yeah, House is. I mean, okay, I don't like the show. The character House is great and all, very likable, very smart, very organized, and knows the right answer, knows what to do, knows what he's doing. It's everything else is the problem with the show. Everyone else is, well, his team that he works with, House's team, they never grow, unlike House. They never change, they never develop, they never get smarter, they just stay in that same rookie dumbass zone. And while constantly downing House. A lot. And guess who's always right, usually? That would be House, not his team that House works with. And there's been several times when they have almost cost the life of a patient or body part of a patient. It's the hospital they work at is very kind of scary when kind of makes you want to. This whole show makes you not want to really ever go to a hospital again because it's sort of like Scrubs, except Scrubs smart enough to make the show into comedy, make that nature into a comedy. House, this actual serious drama. So you're supposed to take it serious, so, which just kind of makes it worse. Yeah, House knows what he's doing. House is the guy with the answers. Everyone else is the guy, people with, looks but no brains, basically, with no answers. So, and that's House team that he works with. So, apparently House often, and you don't know why, for some reason, House is such an asshole and an egotistical maniac, probably because he's doing all of the work, all of the heavy lifting, and what they're doing is, though, there's just mistakes, really, what they're making, a lot of mistakes, and it happens almost every episode, maybe every episode of every season. House's team that he works with, his own personal team in the hospital. And, and you just want to really punch every cast member except for House because he's the only one that's actually smart, besides likable. Incompetent, too. Competent, has to know what he's doing. I mean, everyone else is pretty much, every doctor that House works with or ran into is pretty much the ultimate dumbass. The definition for being the worst doctor at a hospital. And he's like, I'm guessing House knows that he's working at a bad hospital, but the hospital needs him a lot more than than they know. Because he often jokes about the hospital. He also makes sarcastic comments about the hospital when people ask patients, people ask, "Is this a good hospital?" And he answers sarcastically. It's surprising in the most hilarious, dickish way. So, it's almost like he knows that he's in a hospital full of incompetent people that really shouldn't be doctors, despite for some reason, succeed at and got their degree at medical school. I mean, I can't tell you how many times the team that House works with, House is the feels like the guy that's always saving lives and saving people's body parts. And the House team that he works with seems to be the reverse effect of House. What House is good at. It's like that just makes me want to turn off the show. It's just the fact that House is the team that House works with, and the hospital is just so dumb. And this terrible doctors, because of how dominant and confident they are. But yeah, House, I would say outside of House is really not much by the character on the show House. It's called the show's called House MD because that's the name of the character, but she's a medical doctor, a doctor of medicine. You know. Wait, a medical doctor. Wait, it was two different. He's basically a doctor of medicine, and so and for some reason, unless you're a House, nobody really likes to use common sense with whether the patient or the doctors. Or anybody that guest stars on the show for a small cameo. Nobody likes to use their brain, also known or the common sense, to just do the dumbest decisions. You know. It's like, and this lasts for 6 or 9 seasons. I forgot how many seasons it lasts for. I'm going to put on I forgot to look up how many seasons looked up. How long this ran for. Forgot to look that up. Okay, whoops. Anyway, I'm going to put out the date on what the year the show started and the date it ended at on the title of this video. Because this is my thoughts on Completely Serious. Because don't really like the show, and even though I've seen all episodes, I was kind of hoping the show. Well, I watched stage 2 of the show hoping that the people besides House would develop as characters, or like to use common sense every now and then. But my shame on me for expecting too much of television quality, I guess. Because none of that happened, what I was hoping for. So yeah, I give the show as a whole a 0 out of 10. No, that's too harsh. I say 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10 I give this. The reason why I guess the 3 out of 10 because mostly because House is the character is such an interesting character. However, it'd be more interesting it would be a really good show if everyone else developed. Change, grow. If people were growing, if it wasn't this House that was the one that was developing and growing, it would be probably like the show. I would probably, but they just stay in the same idiot categories. House gets smarter when it gets more compassion towards people. Everyone else just stays in that comfort zone. They never break from that comfort zone, the safe zone of being an idiot. And so, therefore, that's why I kind of, as a whole, don't really like the show. I mean, if you are curious watching this show, just for curiosity, I say there are worse ways to spend your life, but also better ways to spend your life while you're living. So, I'm not going to tell you it's the worst thing you could do for your life, because that's not true. Just if you want to spend your life watching the show, that just curious to see how bad it is. It's really not the worst thing you could do. It's definitely not one of the good things you could do to spend your life. I would personally look for another show that you could get into. Supergirl, the show Supergirl, or the Flash show that's going to go on this 8th season this year. Went off and finished this year finishes 17th, going to get renewed for the 8th season, or the 90s show Flash, that's live action, that's titled The Flash, that only lasted for 1 season, despite being pretty good. Probably didn't have the best marketing on this for the show, Sort of like Mask of the Phantasm, Batman Mask of the Phantasm, full title is, That's a movie, not a show, but that's another thing, a good way to spend your time in life while you're still living. Yeah, so I give you a handful of options, I say. House is the only thing in this video. In this video, I can give you a handful of options, despite what I think of, despite besides what I think of how bad I think the show House is. I give you a handful of good options, so yeah. I mean, would feel kind of guilty if I did recommend this show to you guys. For anybody who's watching this. So, I just figure you guys should know, so that way you don't apparently waste, feel disappointed with life, and, you know, I'm sorry, I lost the choice of words. Lost my train of thought. I mean, so yeah. Did I give this a 3 out of 10? Yeah, I give this a 3 out of 10 House. MD. The complete series on House. MD gets a 3 out of 10. I'm going to end the video now because I don't really think I have that much to say now. Okay, bye.